the whole.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kevin and Joe here, the Backlog Exposed. Today is July 31st, 2018. We're going to come at you with a couple different things. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, not too much, Joe. Good to talk to you today. So before we begin, I want to go ahead and just give a shout out to Rocco W. He's the main man behind our music. Hopefully one day he even finds out we do this. But you can find Rocco W over on freemusicarchive.org/Rocco W. And I've been getting it wrong every week. His Twitter is actually at RoccoWNL. So luckily, in the beginning, we don't have a whole lot of followers yet. Not a lot of people listening, but as we start to grow, we're going to get it right. So one of the things that we have done is updated our website. You can hit it live. Joe, what do you think of that new website?
Yeah. Hey, that website is pretty sick, man. It's gives a little bit about us. You actually get to see our face, not just our voice. So you can go in there and check out how ugly we are. It also talks about our video games, our backlogs that we have. Kevin's is updated. Mine's not. I'm still going through mine right now to actually get a good, fair list for you guys so you can ask questions if you have any.
Yeah, well, you know what I want to get on there too is like a ranking. I want to allow people to vote on my backlog to see what people think I should be playing next, and I'm going to look into figuring that out. But if you took
I was thinking about that earlier. That would be kind of cool. Like have your games, or just or not the whole list, but like maybe 10 of them. Maybe like out of these 10 games, what is the next game I should play? And then our next podcast could be, your podcast. You could have your list, and I could have my list, and then we can go back and forth. And like, I have this game to play, and then you have that game to play. It'd be kind of back and forth type thing.
Be pretty badass, I think. Yeah, if you took a look at my list, I have a couple on there. I think I'm up to about 125, 150 games that I got to get through. But luckily, a lot of them are VR games that are really short. And also, on my list, if you ever get a chance to go to the backlogexposed.com, you'll see my list isn't all games I've never played. A lot of them are games I've started or jumped into. Some of them are games you can play multiple times. So, for example, like the VR Playroom, I have it on my backlog because I really haven't spent the time that I want in that game before I take it off my list of things I want to do. So when you're looking at my backlog, you'll see a lot of that kind of stuff. But you know what?
Yeah, you got some good games, though, man. You got one of my favorite games, though, is Knack. That's a good game. You should get on that and check it out.
Yeah. See, Knack,
another fun one is
80%.
Mortal Kombat. It's just one of those games where you can just go play 2-3 rounds and then be like, I'm done. But it's still a fun game.
Yeah, Knack I got about 80% in, and it's still on my backlog because I haven't played it since the year it came out. And I'm 80% in. I just want to finish it up. My kids have actually beat it. I might be able to take that one off the list, but I personally haven't beat it. I've watched it be beaten. So we'll see. That's one of the lower hanging fruit on my totem pole here. But
yeah, me and my son and my daughter, we both, or all three of us, actually beat Knack, and we actually beat Knack 2 about 6 months ago. So it's a good fun game. It's fun to go back and forth and play.
You know what's funny about Knack is my son Jagger loved that game when he was about 3 or 4 years old. And Wesley is now 3, turning 4 soon. And he loves Knack. And I love them playing Knack because they have the ability to play and not die, really. Well, the second player can play and not die. That makes it a lot easier for me to be able to play my games while they play theirs. And, if you've seen if you see my room, the setup I have right now is ridiculous. I have a 60-inch TV, HDR, 4K. And then I got 2 40-inch TVs, kind of cheaper TVs on the side of that. Excuse me. And I can put any input into any of my outputs, any of my TVs. And I also have a computer monitor. So I have 4 different monitor/TVs that I can put my stuff on. So when my kids are playing in here, I can have one on an Xbox, one on a PlayStation 4, one on another, me on my PlayStation 4, and I can be watching UFC on the side and switch them at any time. Say I want to switch seats, I can just hit a couple buttons with this Matrix HDMI thing. It's kind of stupid, but I love it. I get a little stupid with this stuff. So
that's
with
fun.
Knack,
So it makes the gaming even better.
It's funny. People see it and they laugh, but like you were saying last podcast, you don't drink too much. You don't go out and spend your money on a lot of stuff. This is what I don't smoke. I don't drink that much. This is what I spend my money on. So, this is what I enjoy and what I love, and I'll be doing it till my fingers fall off, and, probably same for you. But about Knack, I wanted to say, Jagger hates it. He loved that game. My 7-year-old hates it because the 3-year-old's always asking him to play it. So I want to get Knack 2, but I don't think it would fare well right
if you
now.
get Knack 2, they can play together because Knack 2 is 2-player. There's a red Knack and a blue Knack.
Really? Okay.
And that's how me and Caleb and Kaylee played. Like, I would play with one, or they'd play together, and it's fun. It's hard. You got to...
But is that what happens when you go to Kentucky? You get a red Knack?
Yeah, bro. Go to Kentucky, get your little red Knack.
So a couple of games that stand out for me on my backlog. I have a lot of games on here that are just like cannon fodder games, like the games that come out on the PlayStation Store every month. But
Browse Fusion. That's a fun game, though.
Games like that. But a couple of them that I definitely am going to jump into are, Detroit Become Human, which is a game I'm going to talk about today a little bit. The Dead Island series, which I bought the package on that, and I love these zombie games. That's
the zombie game, right? Yeah. I don't get down with that, man.
I like the zombie games, and before people get, before that one gets too old, because I know it's a couple years old already, I want to just jump in there and kind of tackle it. And the Metro games, I know there's another Metro coming out, so I want to get that. And let's see, there was
this Disney game, man. I was looking at your list. Where'd it go?
that just came out, or I just got that. The Disney Afternoon
Collection. What is that?
Yeah, it's just a couple of Disney games like Darkwing Duck, and we're talking old regular Nintendo games, DuckTales.
Oh, sweet! I'm gonna have to check that out. What's the Kingdom Hearts? Is that what it's called, with Mickey Mouse and like all those other characters? See, I've never played those games, but I've heard nothing but good things about them.
People who play those games,
that's gonna be on my backlog, and that's gonna be my next games played with the kids.
Yeah, and keep an eye out, because as Kingdom Hearts is coming out, they're definitely going to be doing sales on Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I keep seeing them pop up, and there's actually a website. I'm going to pull it up here so that and the guys, for those of you who don't care about PlayStation, this doesn't apply to you, but I'm sure there's sites just like it. There's a site called psprices.com. So just go in, create an account, and then when you're in there, you can select all the games you like. And if it ever goes on sale, you're just going to get an email. You can select games you purchased and all that. You can kind of build a profile if you really want to. But I'll give you a great example of this. I came in here the other day, set it up, because there's a couple of VR games that I want. I'm just not going to pay full price. I'll pay regular, I'll pay decent discounted price. And so one of them was Killing Floor Excursion, or Incursion. That I really wanted.
I think it's Incursion. I could be wrong.
Killing Floor Incursion, and I wanted it. It was like $30, but I just am not willing to pay $30 for some of these games, because I don't spend. Yeah, it's Incursion. I don't spend a ton of time in here on the VR because of every situation that's going on. The kids are home or whatever. But I like to pick them up and have them just in case, and I know I'm going to play them eventually. So yeah, Killing Floor. I didn't want to pay $30. I got an email this morning. It's on sale for $17.99 for PS Plus. I grabbed that one, and then we talked about this one last week, the Sega Genesis Classics. I got that one on sale as well, because I've been waiting for to pick up the digital copy of that. $23.99. Still a little pricier than I wanted to pay, and I'm sure that's going to come out. That'll probably be a $10 thing in the next couple of months. But again, this is what I spend my money on.
It's kind of hard, man. Like if you don't stay on the PlayStation Store at least once a week and see what they've updated. Like, for instance, when Rocket League came out, remember that game? That game's fun. That game was free for a long time. Now it's $60. There's been a couple more games that would come out. Infamous. It came out a long time ago. It was free. Now it's $25. If you don't pay attention and get on the PlayStation Store and look at least once a week when the games update, you do miss out on a lot of stuff. And here's the thing. If you're worried about running out of space, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is go on there, click on the game, add to library. Once it's added to your library, that's it. If it was free and you added it to your library and you go back in 6 months later, it's still in your library. Yeah. That's the most important part. You got to add to your library, and once it's there, it's done.
I think that's why I go all digital. I mean, I know a lot of people like to be able to sell their games or have that game to be able to bring over their friend's house or whatever, but Being, the age I am, I don't go over friends' houses to game. I play at my house and pretty much my house only. And if I'm playing somewhere else, I'm going to be logged into my account most likely anyways. So,
like go to Joe's house and play on the projection screen. No big deal.
We did do that. But, if I needed to play a game of mine, I jump in on my account. So, that's what we did. And
that's one thing that I wish they would bring back. That I do have to give props to the Xbox 360. They did have the detachable hard drive. Now that was insane. That was impressive. I mean, you have a 200 gig or 100 gig hard drive. Oh, I'm going to freaking Kevin's house. He's got an Xbox 360, but he doesn't have this game. I'm going to take my hard drive, plug it into his Xbox, and guess what? Now the game's there. I mean, that's like the smartest thing ever. I wish PlayStation could come up with something like that.
You can't do that with the PlayStation. I mean, I have an external hard drive, I think I got a 4 terabyte, and I just install all my games on there. I couldn't bring that to your house and plug it in, I don't think, and play those games. It'd have to be reinstalled because they each get a unique ID and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's all tied to your PlayStation. Which, for instance, like the Xbox, for instance, if you were to upgrade your hard drive in a PlayStation 4, you have to send all of your game save data to the cloud. And then when you put a new hard drive in, if you went to SonyPlaystation.com and bought a brand new Sony PlayStation hard drive, as soon as you install it in your new PS4, it's automatically formatted, no matter what. The PlayStation automatically formats it, no matter what you do.
That's crazy.
So you can't preload games, and you can't do, which I think it deters people from trying to like hack the system, basically trying to put like bots on it or whatever.
With every game system and everything like this, people make emulators and people find a way to make it free. That's just the internet's way of life. And so I get it, and I like the digital because of the ease of use. Just pop in. Like I said, I have 100-something games on my backlog. I can play I bought a hard drive big enough, and I can play any one of those games at any time without getting up off my chair. And I'm going to start tearing through these things. So that's the goal.
That's I've always liked that too, about, the ability to hold the PS button down, close application, and start up something else. It's too easy. Yeah.
So going back, you were saying about the PS Store. You got to be in there every day. I do not have any bearing on this site, psprices.com, but it handles what you're talking about, Joe. You can come here as a bookmark, and it'll give you different views. The view I have is what's on sale, so you can quickly see what's on sale today. And like I said, you could register, right, and put in your favorites, right? You can go through all the games and say what you like, but you can also just browse the top sale items or sort by cheapest or whatever. So when something does pop up on sale, you can, if you check it out every once in a while, it'll be on here. And these sales on PlayStation Store pop up and go pretty quick.
That's another thing too. I wish that, we're all if you're a PlayStation Plus member, they have your email. Yeah. You know what I mean? They have to have your email, or else you couldn't be. But then all of a sudden, you got a game that goes on sale. Well, guess what? I don't get no email. Come on, man. Give me an email.
I'm with you. I am 100% with you there, because I've gone through the PlayStation Store and chosen my favorites, games I want to be notified when it's on sale. But you're right. All these gaming sites, I think Xbox has the best setup when it comes to selling. I preferred the 360 interface for some reason. I just got used to that over the course of its life. I think the PlayStation interface, when you're in it and when you're using it, is fine. They've come a long way from when the PlayStation 4 first came out, being able to customize with folders and stuff. But still, you're limited. And then the PlayStation Store is it's getting better. But on your phone, for example, it's horrible. It's slow and clunky, and all these sites, the Nintendo Switch Store, the Nintendo eShop, all of this stuff is so clunky and whatever. And I've worked for big tech companies and this and that, doing tech stuff, and we would never have authorized that kind of stuff to happen, to be able to be so slow or clunky. I think that.
Well, you gotta look, man. Some of these companies, they want quantity and not quality.
You're right,
I think the more I have out there, the better it is. But in reality, if you load 15 nice items on a slick, smooth page, it's going to look better than you loading 50 items on a sluggish page, and that's just
true. But why not both, right? I mean, these are multi-billion-dollar companies, and Nintendo can afford to have a solid online presence, and they just suck at it. They've always sucked at it. They're trying to get their online their online portal open. I think September is when it's going to get started or something like that, or at least that's what I last heard. And Nintendo has the worst eShop or shop to be able to go find games.
Yeah,
I spent 5 minutes just trying to find. I was looking for Mario Kart, just trying to browse through the store without having to go to search and type in Mario Kart. And there's no
it's hard to navigate.
It's stupid. It's just stupid. And if there's one thing, that's why I don't stick on the Switch too much. Is like I like to buy games. We talk about it a lot. I don't always play every game I buy all the time, like right away, but I buy them. And if I could just go in and get a couple of good deals on the Switch and like we were talking about just a minute ago, be able to add it to the library and come back later. If it was an easy process, I would do it, and it's just annoying.
I mean, I've never been an Xbox guy. I mean, I have the Xbox One. I don't know. I never really got into it because none of my friends play Xbox. They are all PS4 guys, so I don't ever really bash the Xbox because I don't have any reason to bash it.
We should change it up on one day and just play some Fortnite on the Xbox, me and you, because we both got the account. I got the account. I just never play it. We could say we play the Xbox.
Yeah, I never. Yeah, I went and bought the Xbox. I went and bought Xbox One from my guy for like $150, and I cleaned it out. I cleaned it up, and stuck it on the shelf.
Did you ever do you have the Xbox Live?
No, I don't need it because I don't ever play it. Yeah, I mean, you can go spend. I can go buy a month worth just to play, but I mean, I just never really got into the Xbox because I don't have any friends that play. But I do like the system, though. I mean, it's if you want a full entertainment system. Xbox One is the way to go. I mean, you can plug your freaking cable box into it for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to become like a DVR unit.
And you can utilize it almost as a DVR unit. I mean, you can turn your entire internet service or service provider for your television, everything, and use your Xbox controller. It's crazy. I mean, that's impressive. But like again, if I had a bunch of people that played Xbox, I'd be on the Xbox wagon, but
I'm with you. Hey, so I wanted to real quick just dive back into the website. We're going to have to push this pretty hard over the next couple of weeks to start getting the exposure. So the backlogexposed.com, right? On this website, up top, you're going to have links to our Twitter, our Facebook, our Google Play, and our iTunes. I had to use like a YouTube logo and an Apple logo. Just because of the package, the icon package I have for this website. But across that top menu bar, like I said, you have the Google Play, you have the iTunes link, and then our Discord link. All that stuff is right there. So we've been talking about it for week after week. Now you can get to it. So the backlogexposed.com is going to bring you right to everything you need. So please go, and if you have a WordPress account, I think that's what it utilizes as far as commenting and things like that. Feel free to jump in, make comments on some of the stuff that you see in here. So for example, we have a couple of different categories that I've built that Joe and I are going to use. Standard category for just shooting the shit is rant and rave, right? We're going to come in here, we're going to post about new podcasts and things. So every time we have a podcast, I'm going to pop in here, I'm going to make a post, and that'll be under the rant and rave category. We're also going to be doing video game reviews. So we've talked about reviews here. We're throwing out some verbal stuff, but Joe and I are going to get into the business of giving our rating, giving our true feedback, and our true written word, so to speak, on games, because we want to put this stuff in documentation form, and we want others to read about what we have to say. I think it goes a long way when you have a voice for a genre, a voice for a group of people who just don't have the time or the capacity to have all these games. So, Joe and I have that viewpoint of what is important, what do we want to spend our time on. So we're going to start posting, we're going to have categories. You can subscribe to your favorite categories, but comment on this stuff. Feel free to jump in and give your perspective on our reviews. It might change our mind. We might look at a game a little differently if you give us some feedback.
Yeah, and if you play a game and you get caught up on something and, I don't know, you can always YouTube it, but come on. Leave us a comment. Like, hey, man, you guys play this game? I'm stuck on this part. I need help with this. Have you guys seen this? Have you guys done that? Stuff like that. It'd be kind of cool for us to interact in that sense of interaction as well.
Yeah, and I listen to a lot of podcasts myself, and I hear them all say this, hey, hit us up. And that's the only way. I mean, we don't get emails that say, hey, Kevin, 14 people listened. I have to go search for this information. Joe has to go look for it to find out who's listening and who's trying to interact with us, or at least figure out what we have going on. We have to pump this shit out. We have to be on Facebook, pawning ourselves off to our friends and family and stuff like that. So it's easier.
But that's how you get started, man.
That's how you get started, but it's
the more
easier.
people see it, and then the people start rolling into it, and then before you know it, you got 2 listeners every week, then you got 4, then 4 goes to 8, and all of a sudden you got 20 or 30 people, and then all of a sudden, bam, people's on our on Facebook hitting us up, or they're on our website talking to us, or exactly. And that's just how it goes, and it's fun.
It is, and there's a section on the front page of our website, where can you hear us? It's going to give you a direct link to some of the top places you can hear us now. So we have iTunes, Google Play Music, Player FM, Stitcher Radio, Blueberry, podcast.com, which is representing us. That's where we host our podcasts. Spreaker. You can catch us on teamemargaming.com. Yeah. And also Facebook and Twitter is where you can get information as well and connect with us. So I have some quick links there for you to get there. And then I have a section on the music of Rocco W. So, while I talk about him every week, you can click on the links here and go straight to his SoundCloud or straight to his Free Music Archive profile, and you're not going to be disappointed. I keep saying that every week, but I'm telling you, check it out. The guy's badass.
You can also ask Siri, hey Siri, play the Backlog Exposed. She'll take you to
you hear that?
Our stuff as well.
You said it, and then she started playing it in the background.
Yes, she did.
I heard it ding. And then below that, underneath the Rocco W's section, we have my backlog, and we're going to add Joe's backlog in there. I'm probably going to tuck those things, make a little profile page for the both of us so that we can keep track. And like I said before, we're going to have a little bit of a, maybe a poll or a checkbox type thing, and let you guys know what we're playing on the side. We'll talk about it every week. We're going to be doing 2 podcasts a week at least, and maybe some sidecasts in the future. But we'll keep you informed, that's for sure. But if you want to follow us on that website, feel free. So now that we can get into the podcast, Joe, what have you been playing?
Well, man, I've been playing, my kid's been playing The Legend of Zelda again. They jumped back on that. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Switch. I've noticed my son's been playing Knack a couple of times here and there. Obviously, they still play Fortnite. They've been playing the Playground. For the Team Emar Gaming guys out there that follow my YouTube and stuff, in the next couple of days, I'll be posting a video of what my wife and my daughter did while I was out of the house working. It's pretty cool. They went into Playground, made a little thing for me. It's pretty neat. But
that was awesome.
They just go back and forth, man. But I was more impressed though. Like them playing Fortnite's cool, watching them build and jump around. But I was more impressed over the last year of them playing and watching them play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. If you've ever played it, it's hard. It's Zelda. Come on, it's super hard. But there's 120 shrines throughout the game. They're super hidden. I can't think of the exact number. I think there's like 30 that are riddle hidden. So they'll give you a small riddle and you have to go find it. But the 2 of them ended up beating the entire game. They beat all the bosses by themselves. They beat Ganon. They beat everything. They found all the shrines. They leveled up all the hearts. They leveled up the stamina. That's impressive because that game is hard. I beat it, and then my son accidentally deleted the game save data because he hit the wrong. Yeah, man, it was rough.
The trials and tribulations of being a dad.
I didn't get mad because it's that fun that I went right back and played it again. But they actually went through the entire game themselves and beat it, and that's a good game to go play. I was impressed with how it played out. The DLCs, the 2 DLCs that came out, they're all right. I mean, they were decent. They could have been better, but the game itself is super hard, man. Super fun though.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about this offline, and this game right here is probably one of the best Zelda games I've played. It just has so much, and it brings you right in. But there's something about it that, for me, with all these games at my beck and call that I can jump into, it didn't pull me back. And I don't know if I just didn't get deep enough into it. Or
I don't think you got deep enough, man, because I started playing it, and I didn't like it at first because it was just so much. Because you have, it's like the old Zelda. You have your bombs and stuff like that. But I mean, you have 2 different bombs. You have all these other skills that you unlock when you beat the world bosses, because there's 4 world bosses, and each one gives you a skill that you can use. And there's just so much. And then now you have to learn how to fight with combos. Back, Zelda really didn't have combos back in the day. Yeah, he had maybe 1 or 2, but now there's, you got to jump forward. You got jump forward attacks. You got jump back attacks. You got you got to
worry about the cold, the heat. You got to worry.
Yeah, man. You got parry attacks. Then you got to have different outfits. You have cold outfits. You have the sand outfits. You have the lava outfits. I mean, it's just so much stuff in this game, and you can cook. Hell, you can go to the freaking stove and cook a meal that gives you hearts back. They did a lot, man. They did a lot of thinking in this game to put it together, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was done really well.
No, I'm with you on the being done good. And I want to get in and play it, and that's the killer here. And I've been talking to a couple different people. This is actually a funny topic, right? So me personally, I don't have a specific genre that I say is my favorite. I love playing grab and go games like Fortnite because of my time capabilities. But, growing up, I'd play the hell out of any RPG or MMORPG. I mean, I used to spend 10 to 15 to 20 hours on certain games, at a time, like Shadowbane or World of Warcraft. But now with my time, I tend to fall into playing Fortnite so damn much because of, the fact that a round is 10 to 15 minutes. And in 10 to 15 minutes, you can get that done. I mean, I can have.
And then 30 minutes after that, your house could be on fire because your kids are crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like for example, if I'm, my kids, my younger one will say, "Hey, I want a bath." I'll start the bath water while it's running. I'll come in. I'll queue up for a game. I'll go in, put him in the bath, come back, play a game. And then by the time I'm done that round, he's done the bath, and then we're good to go. And it's like that's the kind of game I can play right now, so I just draw myself to it. With Zelda, all these outfits and things you can do, I just don't have the time.
Oh, you're going to need some time for Zelda, bro. I mean, that's a good. You can't jump into Zelda and play 15 minutes.
And that's the problem.
You jump into Zelda and you're searching for a chest, or you're searching for a seat. A seed, and then it's like, damn, there went an hour. Oh, but wait a minute. If I go up here, I got to complete this challenge. Oh, there goes 2 hours. And by the time you know it, man, you done missed dinner. It's 2 hours past your bedtime, and you're still playing Zelda.
and I love that aspect of gaming. I just don't have the capacity for it anymore. And, I hope to have time, especially as my kids get a little bit older. Wesley's 3, turning 4, and there's less need to be on his back about every little thing. He's starting to play his games. Actually, funny story. And I think Nintendo is so smart at this, but I know that your kids beat Zelda, and then your kids also beat the Mario Odyssey series, right?
Oh my God, dude! Don't even get me started. Jesus, yeah. I'm so tired of Mario Odyssey. But hey, I played the game with them, but I never really played the game with them. I mean, they have all 999 moons. They have all the outfits. They have, dude, my daughter and my son absolutely murdered that game. Like, it got to the point where I was just like, why are you even playing? Everything's done. Oh, but look, I know how to jump up on this wall now because there's secret coins on the top. And I'm like, Kaylee, you have 9,000 coins. Why do you need 1,000 more?
Yep.
Well, I just want to get them. I'm just like, all right, man, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, they destroyed that game.
That's all, and that's the thing. There's certain types of players when it comes to games. And, funny side story, I was saying Wesley, 3 years old, just beat it on his own. He started from scratch. He had actually deleted Jagger's game save and started over, and just over the last week or 2, 3, he's just been plugging away at it. And the other day he's like, Daddy, look. And I looked, and it's the end credits, and I said to Jagger, did he really just beat that game? Yep, he beat it. Now, I know that Mario games have a helper mode or an assist mode now, but to be 3, 4 years old, be able to push through.
Still pretty good.
It's pretty good. It makes a dad proud, I'll tell you.
Even if you use the assist mode, you still got to, it doesn't assist.
Jump.
Yeah, it doesn't assist on bosses.
Nope.
Come on.
So what I was just saying about the different play style, different gamer types. So I have a buddy, JT. He'll probably be on here one of these times, and he is a one game man. Like, he and I were sharing accounts and stuff and being able to play each other's games for the longest time. And it turns out he just wants to play one game at a time for a year or 2 years. You know, he wants to play Elder Scrolls Online, or he's really hoping for like a good MMORPG outside of Elder Scrolls to come to PS4. You know, something new, but, you know, not Skyforge or any of these free-to-play, pay-to-win games. He wants to have like a good... Elder Scrolls is a great example. That's a great game. Neverwinter was another one that actually I put a good 9 months into, where you just play that same game all the time, level up your character, become a god in the game. That's the kind of game he likes to play. And so we did play a lot of Fortnite. We did play a lot of Call of Duty in our day, Battlefield and this and that. But he doesn't get excited about that. He just, you know, he did it because primarily that's the games I play. And then you got my buddy Darren, who, again, he'll also probably be on this podcast in the future because he's been a gamer all his life like me and you. And Darren, I was asking him, hey, do you ever play Fortnite? You ever play any of these other games? And he says, no, I only play games that have an ending. So it's really funny to see two of my closest friends in my entire life have such opposite styles of gameplay. Darren will only play games that have an ending. So he's not going to jump into a game like Fortnite because technically, yeah, every round's an end, but he wants a story. And he wants to play that story. Now, he's out in LA. He's a movie type, you know, movie aficionado. He wants that story, and he wants that complete story, and he wants an ending to that story. And then you got Jed. He was in the military. He, you know, loves these RPGs, and he doesn't care necessarily about the complete story. He wants a character that he can continue to level up and have progression. He's always talked about how progression is like the most important thing for him. Then you have me, who's like, I'll play any fucking game, any fucking time, any fucking where, and let's do it.
That's how my buddy Adam is, Team Ramtod. Yeah. He plays everything, man. Like me, I mainly play PS4 games, and I'll play any genre of PS4 game, and I'll play any Nintendo Switch game as long as my kids are playing. But Adam will play a Nintendo DS game. He'll play a Switch game. He'll play a PS4 game. He'll play games on his phone. I mean, he just likes games, and he likes all types of games. You know, I called him a while ago. I'm like, hey man, what's up? He goes, oh, I just bought this new game on PS4. I'm like, okay. Well, how much was it? Oh, it's $12. Side scroller. It's like an old, you know, Super Nintendo graphic game. I'm like, what the hell? He's like, yeah, I just want to try it out. That's all he does, man. Like, I have so many games because we share PS4s. It's unreal. And half of them I play, I'm like, this game is horrible.
Like Stardew Valley. You guys got into Stardew Valley for a while.
Stardew Valley. Listeners, listen up. Stardew Valley will take over your life. That game is amazing, bro. I love that game. I have every trophy except one, and it's to beat the Prairie King mini game without losing a life. Fucking impossible. It's so hard, man.
You tried to get me into that, and I looked at it. I downloaded it. I think it was a free thing.
I'm not a big fan of those games. I'm not a big fan of those games at all. I don't even like playing those games. And Adam was like, hey man, me and Ray, we're playing this game. I'm like, well, is it multiplayer? And that's my biggest thing. Yep. If we're gonna play a game, it's got to be multiplayer, dude. I don't like playing solo games a whole lot because it just gets boring at sometimes, unless it's like God of War, stuff like that. So I was like, well, it's not multiplayer, dude. He's like, dude, just try it. All right, man. So I got on the chat with him one day. I was like, hey man, I just downloaded this Stardew Valley thing. He's like, yeah, man, just give it a shot. And I played that game for like 10 hours straight that first night. I'm like, what the hell have you done to me? But it's just fun, man. I mean, I don't know. It's just super fun. You go fishing, you go to the mine, you raise a garden, you grow trees, you get animals, you build a barn. I don't know, man. It was just super fun. And a lot of people still play it, though.
You ever play Animal Crossing?
No, I never got into that. I see all those amiibos though all the time for like buy one get one 9 free because no one plays that game.
You know, hopefully I'm not going to butcher this, but it just reminded me of Animal Crossing, which is never. It probably isn't even anywhere. It's probably nowhere near the same game. But Animal Crossing was a game.
Yeah.
Well, Animal Crossing was stupid fun, and I played that with my wife. When I met her, she said she was into video games, and it turned out she lied to me. She also said she was into wrestling, and since then she's told me she's into UFC and virtual reality and all. No, she never said virtual reality, but she'll tell me she likes to feed me those lines of what she's into. But at the end of the day, she ain't into this stuff like I'm into this stuff, and that's the sad part because I'd love to be playing video games with her. And back then, we played. I think it was the N64. It might have been GameCube or. The Wii.
I have a 64.
A couple of them, I think. You got that nice blue one, I think. So I was playing. We were playing Animal Crossing. Maybe it was the Wii. I don't even know, but played the hell out of that game, and it's just stupid. You create a character, you come to a town. That town is yours, and the days go on even if you're not playing. So the sun comes up, sun comes down, and if you don't play for a couple of days, you start getting ants or cockroaches in your house. You got to build a house, you got to clean your house, you got to go make friends. New people come to your town, and then some people move away. So you just walk around and go fishing and chop down trees and pluck flowers. And then next thing you know, someone moves in, and they're funny. Like, they're stupid, funny animal characters, and they have personalities. So you'll talk to them, you'll become friends with them. In the game, not in real life, hopefully. And then next thing you know, they're like, "Hey, we're moving
Kevin
away."
has like 3 friends from Animal Crossing. He's just lying.
I know. Tom Nook, what's up? So
what up, dude?
Yeah. So you go to a store. You basically you get little stupid quests. It's great for kids. It's great for my wife who loved it, and we had a lot of fun with that game. Well, a lot of people have a lot of fun with Animal Crossing. Problem is, they don't keep pumping these games out. Nintendo just doesn't listen sometimes. You know what we ought to do? We ought to make another Mario. It's like, yeah, absolutely. But what about all these games like Star Fox and, that you build a following for, and then you take 15 years to come out with another version of it? It's like, come on, man. You got plenty of money. Keep pumping. I guess, that it's a catch-22, Joe, because Nintendo's known for their quality of their games. So if they're going to keep pumping games out, then they won't have the same quality of those games. So I guess make them want it, but at the same time you can go a whole Nintendo generation without a top AAA game like Animal Crossing was a AAA game for them, I think, at some point. Maybe not anymore, but I don't know what I'm talking about. So
I mean, a lot of people did get into that game, but I've seen it on the shelf. I haven't really messed with it a whole lot.
It's fun, but there's no newer version.
You know what game I did play, though, when I was younger? I just not thought about it. We're talking about RPGs.
Yeah.
I'm going to butcher the name, I think. Suikoden? Is that what it was called?
Well, I think I've heard people say Suikoden. Or
Maybe
I called it Suikoden, too, but I think it's Suikoden.
Whatever it's called, dude. I think it was Suikoden 4. And you play... There's 108 playable characters.
Holy cow.
You have to go find and help and rescue all 108 characters. Basically, the game starts out and you're kicked off this island. Well, you're on this island, and then you end up getting kicked off the island because some nasty shit happens, and you end up having this rune attached to your hand. And the more you use the rune, the more it could kill. Man, that game, I have about 400 hours on my PS2 on that game. I beat it 4 times, and every time you beat it, you can level up. You keep all your weapons and all the gear you have, and you can level up your weapon one more time each time you beat it. Dude, that game is amazing. That final boss, though, it's a big ass tree. Holy hell, super hard, but that was like one of my favorite games.
Yeah, I'm looking at an older one, a PSX version of it, and it looks like it's like a Dragon Warrior or a Final Fantasy style.
It's exactly the same thing as like a Final. It's a turn-based game.
Yep.
You can have 4 people on your crew. You switch them out, whatever. But you have specials, and dude, that game was so fun. I played the hell out of that game.
Yeah, a period of my life where my brother and I did nothing but play games like Dragon Warrior and Dragon Warrior 2 and Final Fantasy, all those. I love them. And Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy's on my list, one of the latest one to play. But that's another one, man. You got to have some time. You got to dedicate not just hours, but days and weeks to some of these games. And I love these old school games, the top down, 4 people on a team, switch them out. I miss those types of games, and I think they're coming out Final Fantasy VII remastered sometime this year or next year.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and I'll probably actually, what's funny, Joe, is that I think Final Fantasy VII was the last time I played a non-multiplayer RPG, like extensively, a non-online version, because I have not gotten into any. When I say RPG, I'm talking about the Final Fantasy style, like Magic, Conjuring, Build a Crew, that kind of thing. I've played RPGs, I've played all sorts of games, but I just have not sat down and dumped hours of time into a game like that in such a long time, and I really want to with some of these games. Which actually brings me to, I have had some time over the last couple of days to play a little bit of this Detroit Become Human. I've been talking about that being on my backlog, so I want to start giving a little bit of a review to this one as I dive into it. Put about an hour into it, excuse me, and if you actually have a chance to download the demo, which I think PlayStation Store still has a demo out there, it's got the first scene of the game. And I wasn't sure after playing the demo if it was going to be the same thing. But I'm going to tell you a funny thing. When you complete a scene in that game, it gives you the breakdown. We already talked about this a little bit in a previous podcast. It'll give you a breakdown of every option that you could have chosen in that scene, and you can compare yourself to friends and compare yourself to the world to see, what options did you choose as compared to everybody else, and you see the percentages. Somehow, I selected the game-altering ending to the first scene both times I played it. And I did 2 completely different paths to get there. So I don't want to give anything away because it is kind of a prominent scene in the game. But that first scene, both times, something happened to where I get this little mark that shows me that I have changed the game. I've basically eliminated options further in the game because of the choices that were made. And it's
pretty badass, though.
It is. It's badass, and it's remarkable how crisp.
Oh, that's like that game Fable. Remember that?
I didn't play Fable too much, but I know.
Oh man, that game was crazy. I
did play it, but not a ton.
You could have farted out in public, and it would have changed the alteration of that game. Everything you did, man, crazy. Everything you did.
Okay, you know what? That was N64, wasn't it?
Man, I can't remember how long ago that. It was it was on Xbox, the original Xbox, I believe.
Okay, but maybe that's what it is.
I'm pretty sure it was Xbox, but yeah, everything you did, man, just changed the game. I'm like, oh my god. Yep. And that was a big game that Adam played, was Fable, because he's always been into that, I'm gonna change this, or I'm gonna make the game my own, and stuff like that. But
kinda like Knights of the Old Republic. You remember that one?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Fable was a series of action role-playing video games for Xbox, Microsoft Windows. The Xbox 360 actually came out with one, and the Xbox One. So yeah, it's an Xbox exclusive. So
okay.
But it was fun, man. I played it a little bit with Adam, and it was interesting, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love those types of games. I really do. And this one's going to really intrigue me because as soon as I got done with that scene, I started the next one, and then we had to do this recording here, and I'm going to jump back in. I mean, that's the thing. I'll play Fortnite a lot, but the second I find a game that tickles my fancy, I definitely will put some time into it, and I think I'm just going to plow through and beat Detroit Become Human. A couple of things I noticed.
I want a game to come out though, man. I'm like,
Call of Duty's
the demo's coming out Friday for Call of Duty, but I'm just like, I want something different. I want to play something, man. Like I'm getting kind of over these shooter games. I don't know, man. I want either a solid standalone single player, even though I'm not a huge fan of them. I want a solid standalone single player, or a really, really good RPG that's multiplayer, or a co-op, or I just want a game to come out that you can put 200-300 hours in and just play a game. And that's what's been missing for like years on these platforms, man.
So Joe, 2 things. One, download the demo for this, Detroit Become Human. I think just a couple of things I noticed alone. One, the graphics are ridiculous. I mean, some of the best I've ever seen. But with the best graphics I've ever seen, on any game. One thing I've noticed, and I got to throw this out there because it's just driving me nuts, lips. Not, with the lips closed, they can make a face look perfect. I mean, the faces on this game just look like humans, real life humans. However, anytime anyone talks, they have not been able to master how lips and teeth and tongue react. And so it's just,
of course.
It's kind of silly when you see such a perfect looking face with fake mouth, So game developers, that's your next gen, one of your next gen targets there is to figure out how to
these
do
lips.
that. Because I mean, you're getting so close. I mean, we're so close to perfect on this stuff. So lips and teeth and tongue and mouth, you gotta work on that because it just destroys the immersion of this game, of these games. This one, when I started it up, it gave me two options. And for those of you who don't have a whole lot of time or aren't necessarily into the brutal challenge of some of these games, they gave us two modes. You have casual or experienced gameplay. I love the fact that this game is offering that type of, game mode. Do you want to play just two? There's no hard, easy, medium, kind of hard, kind of critical, kind of.
You want to just kick your boots off, you get off work and play a game? Get up to casual. You want to tighten up your big boy drawers? Yeah, get some experience going.
Exactly, and I love that. So I'm doing the casual gameplay because I don't have my big boy drawers on right now. I just want to. I want to relax. I want to relax, and I just want to play a little bit. But one other thing that I'm starting to get used to it is the way that the camera moves in this game. It's a little slow. This is not a run and gun type game. This is you meander around a room, you look at all the clues, kind of like L.A. Noire, where you're looking for things, and you just kind of walk around real slow. I don't know.
Is it a horror game?
No. It's a. So far from what I've seen, it's more of a choose your own adventure. You got a scenario, and just to give you a heads up on what the demo is about and what the first scene is about. You come across you're a robot, a cybernetic being or whatever, and you've been. I guess your job is to negotiate. So you're a negotiator, and another robot has a human girl dangling off the side of a building, and he's threatening to kill her, and that's all you know.
Yeah.
So your job is to come in and save the girl. Or not. I mean, it's your choice, right? That's what this is all about.
I mean, if I'm casually playing, that bitch gonna fall.
So
I'm just kidding.
Well, what's funny is I slow played it, or the first time I played the demo, I ran right through to try to save that girl as fast as possible. And I just tried to play it again, and I slow played it, doing every little detail, everything I could find. And the same result, but there's like 7 different results in that first scene, and I picked the one that's the least picked out of everybody. So I want to go back and replay it just to see what I can get, see if I can get, get a different result. But that's the other cool thing. This game has replayability because of that, because you can go in and try the scene again. So. Check it out. I mean, the demo's free, right? So just jump in, download it. You'll be
I'll
astonished.
Give it a go, see what the dealio is.
Yeah. Just take a look.
I might mess with it.
You'll get a good half hour out of it, for free in the demo. So check it out, and we'll go from there. But I think that kind of gameplay. There was another game that came out, Beyond something. I think I have it on my backlog. Let me take a look.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. I'm just kidding. That's not the game. Just
Beyond
kidding.
Two Souls. So this is the same company that built Beyond Two Souls, and just a couple months ago that was free on PS Plus. Not sure if you grabbed that one, but it's the same style of gameplay from what I understand. So if you like that one, or if you've heard of it, you can check that one out as well. And these two games play out very similar. They're just different stories and different people and everything inside of it. So
cool.
So Joe,
yeah, man, I don't know. This just the gaming industry itself. I wish there was more exclusives, man. Like I wish there was just because there's still always once they get hung on a game, it's like that's it. Like for instance, we always say Fortnite Battle Royale, but I mean now look what happened. You got Fortnite Battle Royale, you got H1N1 Battle Royale. Call of Duty's got a battle royale. You got all these different games now with battle royales. I'm like, come on, man. Yeah, they were successful. Now figure out how to be more successful and close it down. If if that's the competition that we need. I don't want 15 battle royale games.
Call of Duty Battle Royale, Battlefront Battle Royale.
Dude, Call of Duty's coming out Friday for a demo. I haven't even thought about spending the money to get Call of Duty.
Which
the
is
last
crazy
5 Call of
from your
Duties.
mouth.
It's very crazy. I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. I have bought every Call of Duty. The wife plays with me every Call of Duty, but they all suck, man. Like the last 4 are garbage, and now they're throwing in a battle royale. I'm like, come on, man. Call of Duty's never even been close to a battle royale, and now you're gonna just all of a sudden you're gonna have a battle royale. I was like, come on, man. This is gonna be. I think it's gonna be garbage, and I'm really hoping that it's gonna be amazing. But at the same time, I damn sure ain't getting my hopes up.
No, but Joe, one of the things that is cool but scares the shit out of me is this idea of free to play, pay to win. And I know that they say
that's been going on for years now.
It's been going on for years. But they say Fortnite, for example, is not a pay to win game. But
I think it's bullshit.
I'm gonna disagree because there's a couple of things. There's a couple of aspects that go into playing Fortnite and seeing your opponent and this and that. And there are definitely dances and moves and things like that that I've seen. Yes, they're cosmetic, but at the same time, when you see a player who is all decked out, ready to go, you have an expectation. You change your gameplay a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like John Wick. When a John Wick comes at you, you know he's played 100 hours, and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna play a little different.
Yeah, just like this season, if you see someone coming out with Ragnarok, I've been playing.
You're like, holy shit, this guy's already played too much, Great. I mean, yeah, I agree, man. The whole free to play, pay to win thing, they always stress it. Oh, everything's cosmetic. Maybe it is, but at the same time, I just think it's bullshit, man.
So on the flip side, though, how many hours have you put into Fortnite where you haven't paid a dime?
Many. I put way too many hours in Fortnite, dude.
Almost as many as I've played a lot of Call of Duty.
The only thing that I have bought with Fortnite is I bought the I didn't even buy that. You bought it for me, the Save the World.
That's right.
To get me to play. And we played probably 30, 40 hours together in Save the World at some point. But I don't play Save the World because I don't think it's fun unless someone else is on. So I don't get on there and get the free V-Bucks to get the free season pass. So to me, I think it's fair to give the $9.99 a month, or it's $10 every 10 weeks. So $10 $1 a week. I mean, what the hell? That's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
to pay $1 a week for the amount of entertainment, the amount of challenges, and the amount of gameplay. $1 a week is really not that bad. I can play Fortnite for 52 weeks and literally play $52.
Yep.
Right.
And so, and you don't have to, but it gets the game. It makes it a complete game.
It gives it more an entertaining feel to it. Like instead of just going and playing Battle Royale, I'm going to play Battle Royale, but I'm gonna go find these fucking 7 chests at Fatal Field real quick.
Yep.
And then when I get done with that, I'm gonna go up here and jump in these portals, and I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna shoot this damn 3-pointer real quick because that's what we do in Fortnite Battle Royale now. We're fucking carrying AK-47 shooting 3-pointers because why not?
I can't wait for the beach ball.
It's just shit like that that makes it fun though.
We know we're going to be playing some volleyball soon, and I'm looking forward to that. Oh, dude, we're going to be playing.
Well, golf's got to be coming up next.
Well, yeah, I was reading actually. You have to score 9 holes.
My kids were playing on Playground, and she was like, "Dad, it told me I scored a hole." I'm like, "What?" And it did. She went over there and she freaking putted it in from like 6 meters. I was like, "Well, that's coming up next."
Yep,
volleyball's got to be coming up soon. I mean, it's just those fun things that make Fortnite playable. Like for me, if they were to get rid of the battle pass, I honestly don't think I would play Fortnite anymore.
Because what's funny is I didn't play Battle Royale.
The challenge is done.
When Battle Royale first came out, I played the hell out of it, and you didn't. I don't know if you remember. You weren't super into it.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
I got into Save the World, tried to get you into Save the World, and I got sucked into Save the World like crazy. I mean, that's what I've been doing.
Your character's like level 4,712 or something.
I'm real close to 100, and that's my goal, is just to get to 100.
Stupid. Just
to have it, That's like my completionist. I know you can go higher, plenty higher, but I'm close to 100. But as I said a couple weeks ago, my son randomly took my V-Bucks. I was spending all my V-Bucks that I earned in game on Save the World content. There was cool stuff you could get in there. Like you can get llamas and
pickaxes and skins and you're talking about Save the World. Yeah, you're talking about llamas and all that stuff.
The skins are actually impactful. You have all these different.
True.
You have an Outlander. True. So you unlock new characters, and then you explore those characters. It's a whole complete game. I mean, it's going to be free.
Save the World is fun. It's just something I don't enjoy by myself.
No, makes sense
For one,
completely.
it's just too goddamn hard. Like, let's be honest.
Well,
You can't
Jed and
go
I-
into some of these levels and beat them by yourself. You got to have a team of 3 or 4 people to protect that.
The Atlas or whatever
the
it
Atlas,
is.
man. I mean, my son goes in there and gets mad. He's like, Dad, I can't protect the Atlas. And I'm like, dude, that's part of the game. You got to have 2, 3, 4 people in there to do it.
Before playground mode, it was the place to go to learn how to build. So a lot of people went there just to figure out how to build. But they don't have the same development standards. They don't have the same development people.
The controls are different too, though, from Save the World to Battle Royale when it goes to building.
They finally gave us the same controls, but
okay.
One thing I've noticed is they don't handle the same way. They're not as crisp and clean as Battle Royale, because Battle Royale gets all the love. And so, for example, Builder Pro.
Of course, it's making a freaking $1 billion or whatever.
Yeah, Battle Royale's getting all the love. So, like in Save the World, Builder Pro just doesn't respond the same way. And that's another thing, we could get into it, but I've noticed some building issues even with Battle Royale, that on console, you just have a little bit of a... you have a lot of disparity between console and keyboard players. And I noticed a lot of mouse and keyboard players are jumping over to PS4 because they can kill people much easier when you have access to so many different buttons. And one of the topics I wanted to bring up real quick before we wrap it up is next generation consoles and next generation gaming. I foresee a difference in controller and the ability to integrate peripherals like mouse and keyboard and have that become more customized and more standardized in gaming. And I think you should.
Dude, what if it gets close to like Google Glass? Remember that shit? Remember Google Glass?
Well,
what happened to Google Glass? It's gone. What happened? Where'd it go?
Well, I hope that doesn't happen with VR. But
imagine putting one little freaking thing over your eye and bam, you're playing PS4 or Xbox One at the graphics right here in front of your face,
right into your projecting right into your retina.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean that would be the way to go, especially if you could, like, mobile gaming is something that every generation they put a lot of time and money into. But then you look, and PlayStation had the PSP and the Vita. Neither one of those really accomplished what they needed.
They didn't really do a whole lot.
But
they had a good idea behind it, about
play the Switch.
But look, so you had to play the PS Vita and then the PSP and the PS Vita. But look what happened a few years later. What's out right now? The Nintendo Switch, and it's fucking killing everything, dude. It's got more console sales. It's got most money. I mean, it is literally, again, Nintendo, man, just sat back, waited some years.
Yeah, they set
wait a
a
minute.
bar.
You created 2 gaming consoles, handhelds, that flopped. Why'd they flop? Oh, this is why they flopped. Hey, Nintendo, let's fix it. And boom, they did. And they're out and about everywhere, man.
Yeah, the Switch is a phenomenal console. And I think that, I don't foresee Xbox or Microsoft getting into VR. They've even said out loud that they're not going to. I think they're going to focus more on the content, kind of like they've been doing with making their box the central location. But one of the things that hurts Xbox and Microsoft is people disconnecting from that world. I mean, the amount of people cutting cable and getting out of the need for, having their Xbox be that central console. I mean, everything's on your phone now. I can take my phone and play my phone on my TV at HDR. Well, I don't know if it's HDR, but high quality resolution. How many people care? How many people care about HDR as much? I don't think it's as...
Dude, 4K's kind of fallen off. Like, you don't even...
It's just because it takes a little bit to be adopted. You have to put it on the right setting. Or if I want my PS4 Pro to be on the 4K, I can't have it running through my splitter. Well, that's what pissed me off when I bought our Pro together. Me and you, like, we bought a Sony 4K TV, a Sony PS4, and when you plug the PS4 Pro 4K into your 4K TV, you had to go in and make all these crazy settings changes. Dude, it's a 4K TV. There should be no settings changes that needs to be made. It's 4K TV. And you take someone like me or you who get everything latest and greatest. We are so into what's next and this and that, and then you look at Nintendo and Apple, and they're killing it with sales, and they're killing it with simplification. They take
the iPhone's been the same for how many years now?
Yeah, but you're gonna get the next one, and you're gonna get the next one, and you're gonna get the next one.
Of course, we're gonna get the next one. I mean, iPhone 8 Plus to the iPhone 10, what changed? The camera? Oh, it's a little faster. I mean, and they sold like hotcakes.
The interface tends to stay pretty much the same, and it's a pattern that works. Nintendo, the same thing. You got your Switch, but it looks very similar to the Wii and the
Well, of course, yeah. The Wii U. I bet if you were to actually do a side by side comparison of the Wii U and the Switch, like, because Breath of the Wild was a game on the Wii U, so they just brought it over to the Switch. So I bet if you were to actually go get Breath of the Wild, open up on Wii U on a 1080p TV, and then put the Breath of the Wild up against each other, you're probably not even going to really notice. The average person's not even going to notice a difference. But they're going to sell it that way, that this is the latest and greatest console.
I bought the Switch because I thought that Breath of the Wild was only on the Switch. And then I found out after I paid the $400 it was on the Wii U. I was like, man, I could have saved myself a couple of weeks. But
I strictly bought the Switch for the kids, and it's been worth it, man. We've taken it on every road trip. We've taken it to Disney. They take it to their friend's house. I
was so worried, Joe. When I first got that thing, I was worried it was flimsy. It does have it's a premium device with a somewhat lower
shitty
quality
controllers.
Yeah, the controllers are shitty as hell. That my left controller has broken twice. And
all the left joysticks had problems. Yep. Like if you were to send it back to Nintendo, they'd fix it. But that's the only downfall.
They want to charge me $60 to fix the left controller, and the lady said, "Well, it's cheaper just to go buy one." And I'm like, "Screw that!" So I bought these controllers. Like I'm big on that, buying third-party solutions for this stuff, and they paired real easily. I just bought them off of. They look like regular old school Nintendo, but they connect via Bluetooth, and they have all the buttons you need. It's almost like a pro controller, the size of an old school Nintendo controller. And it works just fine. So I think it was like $10
I bought the
or
kids the Pro controller for it because I mean it's just another. Of course, it's another greatest and latest thing, but at the same time, it's actually better.
Yep.
For me, because my hands are a lot bigger than the kids, obviously, so it's easier to play.
We talked about the other day too, the Classic, and since then I purchased the second controller. I got one for cheapo controller for $10. It has a fairly short cable, so I had gotten the extensions like we talked about as well, and that works perfectly fine. So we were talking the another controller with a 3-foot cable is $35, licensed by Nintendo. Do not do it. You're not going to get the same quality. The third-party solution is a little bit stickier with the buttons and stuff, but I mean, we're not talking. You're not going to be putting hundreds and hundreds of hours into the old Nintendo. I don't think. You might,
no, they're going to play Mario for 3 levels and go, "Fuck this guy, man! How did I play this shit?"
so
you're going to get caught in the same damn fireball in the castle and be like, "Nope, I'm done."
Yep. Oh man, that sucked. So Joe, one other thing too, and we're really hot on this topic, but I firmly believe that controllers are going to be a central point to the next generation console.
If you just look at the Xbox, for instance, the Xbox has not changed its controller. It's changed its button layout, and it added the Xbox emblem or the symbol where you can push, basically. Now you look at the PlayStation controller.
Well,
it made a massive jump from just a regular controller to now where you have the actual touchpad. I mean, there's a lot of games. If you go to the Playroom, where you play with the little animals, or not animals, but the little robots and stuff that you put, and you actually use the touchpad, and you can actually use the touchpad whenever you're looking up something on the internet. You use the touchpad to move back and forth.
I would like to see the
touchpad is a huge.
I would like to see it integrated into games better, though. I don't think
that
developers
would be pretty sick.
Yeah, I don't think developers utilize that enough. Like, for example, I mean, again, Fortnite or something.
Did you use the touchpad in NAC 2? Do you use the touchpad in NAC 2? I believe so. I believe you actually do use the touchpad.
I know in some games you can swipe up, or I think this goes into what I think the next generation. I mean, they could do this generation, but I think next generation has to reduce the discrepancy between mouse and keyboard players and console players. They need to give you the control to mess with stuff. Like, if I want to remap, swipe up.
Yeah, if my circle button wants to be triangle, let me make my damn circle button triangle.
Now you can do that, Joe. So I didn't know this was an option, but you can go into accessibility settings on your PlayStation, and you can remap all your buttons. So you can make the up arrow or the up button on your D-pad the triangle, and you can go remap, but you can't make two different. Like, everything has to be a 1-for-1 switch. You can make
also up can only be left and left can only be up. You can't do a complete swap.
No, you can do a complete swap, but for example, I can't make the up button be triangle and the triangle button be triangle. I can't have triangle on there twice.
I see what
you're
saying.
So you can remap every button to anything you want, pretty much, except for the triggers. I think the triggers, because of the tactile resistance and stuff on them, have to be what they are. But like, I can make, I can remap X to down, circle to right, square to left. So like a left-handed player could remap the controller to suit their needs. But I think you should be able to go deeper. I think I should be able to say, if I double tap the circle, it does something. If I double tap the triangle, it does something.
That'd be sick, dude.
Yeah, and I should be able to build macros or keyboard commands into my controller.
If you could fully customize your controller, could you imagine what Fortnite would be like? Holy shit.
Well, one of the things I got was for $35. There's a thing called Collective Minds. It's a company called Collective Minds, and they added these paddles, these triggers on the underside that I can program to do on the fly. I can hit a button, and I can make them anything. So during the middle of a game, I can start it off with underneath, like where my middle finger is on the bottom of the controller. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, Joe, but down here, my left middle finger, I can make that jump. And my right middle finger, I can make that triangle. So at any time, I can either use the triangle button or the one by my finger. So I don't have to take my thumb off of the joystick to jump. Right? And that's one of the huge things in Fortnite that console players have a hurdle to jump, is when they're jumping, their thumb comes off the thumbstick. And even if it's just a millisecond, in games where people are actually pro level, getting paid millions of dollars to play this game, that millisecond matters. And
that millisecond means you're dead.
Yeah, and there's so many players who just don't give a shit. But if you want to be good, I want to be good at my games. I don't need to be the best. I'd love to be, but I don't need to be. And so I'm looking for every advantage I have so I can compare and compete and actually do good. And I've noticed a significant difference by adding these two buttons. Sometimes it gets me discombobulated while I'm in the middle of playing.
Trust me, it does. Motherfucker over building walls and shit around nobody and then shooting stuff. He's, wait a minute, I hit the wrong button. Like, man, put the controller back down.
But as I get used to it, I get better. And so I think that giving us that customization is key in the next generation. And I think if VR survives into PlayStation 5, I would probably not buy it.
That's what I'm waiting on, man. PlayStation 5.
Yeah, well, I probably won't buy PSVR if they don't have Move controllers with joysticks, thumbsticks. The Move controllers are still from the PS3. They never came out with a new version of it.
Yeah, what the hell is that? How are you going to bring a PS or a VR system and then say, oh, by the way, go use the PlayStation 1 controllers because they still work? I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I'll tell you what, they really cut a corner here, and I think it massively has hurt their sellability of this because, you're trying to come up with new gaming schemes. You're losing buttons. If I have to hold the button down to move forward, then you're losing a button to be able to do something else. And with a controller, and you only have so many buttons, you just can't lose buttons. This day and age, you can't lose buttons.
Shit, man, we're talking about we're running out of buttons, man. Back in the '85, we had two buttons.
Two buttons. I know,
shit,
but
we had A and B.
But now when you have
look
these,
at us. We got up, down, left, right, and R1 and R2 and L3. We even have L3 and R3 now. You try to explain that to some people, they're like, "Yo, I don't have an L3 or an R3.
Yeah, but when you look
at the L2, yes, you do, man. You got to push down on the stick. Oh, didn't know you could do that.
I know, but man, when you look at the failure of the Vita, the failure of the Vita is because they didn't have an L3 and an R3. It's because they didn't have an L2 and an R2. You had to reprogram the back of the freaking controller to do these things. And your instinctive mind, when you're playing Call of Duty, if the fire button...
R3 will just straight yank somebody in the throat with a knife. Just saying.
Yeah, but when you're playing Call of Duty, if R3 is no longer your right pointer finger and it is now your middle finger tapping the back of the controller... your instincts just aren't there.
But what pisses me off about Call of Duty, though, is you have to use every damn button in Call of Duty. You have to use L1, L1, L2. You have to use all of them, right? So your default L3 and R3 the only two buttons that, you really never use in video gaming, one of those has to be your melee attack. Man, you know how many times I've been running and meleeed somebody that I wasn't nowhere near them? Looking like a damn idiot? Come on, man.
And then you have the games that don't allow for customization. So like in Fortnite, you got the Builder Pro, you got the Combat Pro, you got all these different layouts. Same with Call of Duty, but there's a button that you would never use, squad commands. It's the right button on the D-pad. Well, I'd love to make that right button on the D-pad my map. So I don't have to reach over and hit the thumb, whatever. All I'm saying is give us more customization in the future. In the next generation of consoles, we know it's going to be more powerful. We know you're going to do that 4K. We know you're going to, pump out resolutions and stuff. Give us controllers that we can do more with so that we can play, cross-play with these PC players and actually matter. I mean, Fortnite has really brought this to light, but that's my request, and that's my hope for the future of gaming. Is the ability to, I've plugged in a mouse and keyboard. There's input lag. It's not huge, but it's there. And, give us heightened ability to play with this.
That's what we should ask our viewers right now. Go to the website, backlogexposed.com. What do you think future gaming is going to hold?
I like that. When I post this,
right? That's a good way to bring them in. We have ideas, but you know what? What's your ideas?
I like that, Joe.
Backlogexposed.com. What do you think's coming in the future? Is there going to be more buttons, less buttons? What's the system like? What's the system going to be like? What's the system going to be called? I mean, obviously, PlayStation can't get their shit past numbers, so it's PS1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, it's going to be a 5.
Unless they're Microsoft, it'll be 10.
And like it's Microsoft, it's going to be Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox 10. Bro, you've missed 2 through 9 in there somewhere. But hey,
you know what? Whatever. You know what they're gonna do? I think they're gonna. Well, it's like Battlefield too. Battlefield 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and now 5. What about PlayStation start using the symbols instead? So PlayStation Square, PlayStation Triangle.
Oh yeah, PlayStation Pi. What?
so Joe, that's all I got. You want to wrap us up?
Yeah, man, that's it. Good podcast. Like I said, go check out your website, backlogexposed.com. Give us your feedback. Let us know what games is coming out, what games you're excited about, what games your guys are playing, what games we should play to help you guys out to review. And let us know what the future of gaming holds. What do you think the controllers are going to be like? We're interested to hear from you guys.
All right, Joe. It's been great talking to you.
Too easy, Earl.
Podcast out.
Yeah.